stats from the Premier League season that you may have overlooked. Now, yes, you're looking at what's behind me and thinking, yes, I know that Salah got the most goals last season, but I feel like there are a few peculiarities about the stats that we did not really pay attention to our Premier League fans. And seeing that we're just like a month away from the start of the new Premier League season, Liverpool and Bournemouth kicked off on August 16th. Just thinking, let's look at the few things that matter and the ones that probably don't matter, that we think do not matter, but they do matter. So, beginning with the goals for last season, we already know that Salah got the most goals, 29, absolute beast of a season. But if you look at the numbers downward, kind of says a lot. Isak had 23 goals, more goals than Haaland, one more goal than Haaland. Now, the people that make up the top five, they kind of say a lot. Mbeumo and Chris Wood had 20 goals each. Now, crazily, Yohan Wissa had 19 goals. So Wissa and Mbeumo, two players from Brentford, have 39 goals between them. You now start to think, how many goals the Brentford even score in this season? Now I just complete the list and tell you that Oli Watkins had 16 goals, Palmer and Cunha have 15 goals. Now Palmer could have gone on to score a lot more, but he had a hiatus. Then Felipe Mateta had 14. Crazily, Felipe Mateta had 14 goals last season. Now, while we're looking at these stats, some other stats I want you to look is this account here. Now, follow the Football Cruise podcast. We are close to 1K followers, 971 followers. You have been putting in the work for us. Thank you very much. Now, we can complete this. Just follow us, get us to 1K subscribers, so that we can start going live and doing all of that. But follow us. Now, back while saying that Mbeumo and Wissa had 39 goals between them, you will now be shocked to find out that Brentford got 66 goals last season. Brentford had 66 goals last season, and if those guys scored 39, which means the rest of the teammates scored around 27. My math is correct. I still know math. Now, to the other teams, Liverpool had 86 goals, Man City had 72, Arsenal had 69. This time they didn't finish second. Very interesting. Newcastle had 68, Chelsea had 64, which is very interesting actually, where you kind of find out the number of goals that they conceded. Spurs have 64. Now, Spurs that were like 16th place, 17th place had 64 goals. Aston Villa had 58, Belmont had 58. Manchester United, I can't find them here. Where can you find Manchester United? Yes, you can find Manchester United in the number of goals conceded. The number of goals conceded, Manchester United conceded 54. Now, I will interest you to know, with a simple Google search to show that I'm right, Manchester United scored 44 goals last season in the Premier League. So 44 goals last season in the Premier League, and you concede 54, means they're already owing 10 goals ahead of next season. That's very bad. But the list of other teams, which is Manchester United friends, you have Southampton with 86, Ipswich with 82, Leicester City with 80, all relegated teams. Wolverhampton with 69. Now, Tottenham have 65, and I think they scored around 60 something, 65, 69 last season. So this is impressive, by the way. Then West Ham have 62, Brighton have 59, Brentford have 57, and they scored 66. So their goal difference is very poor to our well. And Fulham have 54. Now, the teams that are considered the least most goals are Liverpool, Arsenal, and Chelsea. Chelsea is kind of like the third best team with the least amount of considered goal, around like 40 something, I think. But to the other stats, which is obviously the only other place that I can find Manchester United, Salah is the highest number of assists. Jacob Murphy 12. Ateneo Elanga, very interestingly, has 11. I think Murphy and Elanga are surprising me on this list, and Damsgaard as well, who is the fifth person with 10 assists. But actually, Bruno Fernandes has 10 assists. So Bruno Fernandes, Damsgaard, Anthony Robinson, now for a defender, that's mad impressive. That's like Trent Alexander-Arnold type numbers. You get what I'm saying? For only those of us in FPL that were there. And Bukayo Saka finished with 10 assists. So Saka was injured for a while. I get this. I think this season he will have more. But I also need Arsenal to sign a striker, and I'm not a Arsenal fan, but they need a striker badly. Son Heung-min and Jarrod Bowen complete the top 10. Now you don't see Manchester United again in any of the other stats that I'm about to show you, except their negative stats. And just like I called it, you find Manchester United here again because of the number of losses. United lost 18 games. 18 games out of 38, which means they had just 20 games to fight for either a win or a draw. And that's very poor. The other teams there are the relegated brothers in Southampton, Leicester, and Ipswich. Spurs lost a whooping 22 games. Now, they're going to kind of embarrass us in the Champions League next season. I'm hoping that they do well, but I don't really put it beyond them to do badly. Wolves has 20, United already, have 18, West Ham have 17. Brentford, like, I don't know, Brentford is appearing everywhere. Number of goals, score, number of goals, highest goal players with number of goals, assists, and all of that. And they're just even in number of losses. Like, these guys need to just find one place and stay. And now they have lost their coach. I don't know how next season will be for them. Fulham and Bournemouth complete the list with 14 and 12 losses. And I think the last stats here is the number of wins. And frankly, again, Arsenal are not second, man. These guys keep on disappointing me. But Liverpool are first 25 wins, Manchester City with 21, Arsenal with Arsenal and Arsenal, Chelsea, Newcastle are tied with 20 wins. I think that we need to actually, while we're respecting all the other clubs and Arsenal, I think 20 wins is actually okay. We need to actually appreciate the work that Maresca and Chelsea have done actually. 20 wins from 38, and in the Club World Cup final again, as at the time that I'm making this video, I don't really pay an attention to what PSG will do, but 20 wins from 38. Chelsea are getting back to where they used to be, sure. Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest are tied with 19. Brentford 16, Brighton 16 as well, and Bournemouth complete it with 15 wins. Now, kind of all these stats, why am I doing the stat? To put this in perspective, every time we say the stat don't matter, well, they do. They kind of paint a picture of how your team has performed, where your team is, and probably why they are where they are. I mean, for a team like United that has scored only 44 goals and you concede 10 more goals than what you have scored, it puts it into perspective. Tottenham Hotspur score 60 something and they concede 50 something as well. You see, it starts to put into perspective. You win a total amount of games. See Brentford win 16 and they lose how many? It kind of tells you how teams are. So I think ahead of next season, I know that this starts will change obviously. Who do I see winning the title next season? It's still early for that. Follow the account, stay tuned, and when the season starts, you will find out who I'm backing to win the Premier League.